Hello, everybody. Welcome to our free monthly live training here inside the For Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability community. So, in this group, I know it says for busy moms, but really, if you're a busy woman in general, whether it's life, kids, work, family, whatever it is, as long as you are busy, this group is for you. So, for those of you who are new, we've had a lot of new people join in the last month. First off, we do a live free training the first Thursday of each month at noon Eastern Standard Time. So we have people from all over the country in this group. So it's really fun to see who is here, who's tuning in live, and also who is just showing up for the replay when it works for their schedule. So if you have tuned in today, make sure to drop live in the comments. Let us know who you are and where you're from. Today's topic is going to be fitness in 5 minutes. And I've actually done a longer podcast on this that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that. But today we're going to dive into some of the things that I want you to remember about getting up and moving throughout your day, the importance of it, how you can really start to add fitness into your life in just 5 minute bursts. And then I'm going to give you the opportunity to drop fitness in the comments below to get access to our fitness in 15 minutes or less ebook that I've created. I was going to drop it with the podcast, but I'm dropping it here first exclusively for you guys now. So if you want that, just drop fitness in the comments and I'll send you a link so you can grab that. So before we get started, we are in the middle of a step challenge. We're actually getting ready to wrap up. We've got about it ends next Tuesday. So we have less than a week left of a step challenge. And we have some people who are absolutely crushing it this round. And it's been super fun to watch you guys compete, to watch the competition of like, okay, knowing like, so I've talked to so many of you that you've taken the averages to figure out, you've taken people's totals and figured out the average in which you need to walk to bring yourself higher, to beat that person ahead of you, or to get to first place. So loving this challenge. I am going to run another one. So if you missed this one or this wasn't just a good time for you, whatever it was, but you want to continue to be notified when we run these, just drop steps in the comments below. I'll add you to that list where I just send out, hey, we're running this challenge. Each time we do this, it tweaks a little bit. This time our our pay in was higher, but our payout is bigger. So with that in mind, congratulations to all the steppers. Keep going. Next week, by the end of the week, we will announce the winners and the payouts and all of that. So let's dive into today's topic. Like I mentioned, we're not going to dive too deep only because I did a full podcast episode on this, but I really thought this was super important as we moved into August. This is a big transition month for a lot of you. For some of you, this is kids going back to school. This is a few weeks without kids' camps or daycare. And at some point, kids are going to go back to school, but you're kind of in limbo. For some of you, it may be a job transition. It may be just the fact that, okay, we're up north a few more weekends, we're getting the most out of our summer as much as possible, and you're really just wanting to continue to stay active. And some ways you can do this is you could join a step challenge, you can structure your workouts, you can plan your workouts, you can do all those things. But the biggest thing that we have to remember is when life gets busy, we have to start taking the barriers out of what fitness looks like and what qualifies as fitness. So, what I mean by that is if you are in a busy stage of life right now, I want you to think about if you can't do 30 minutes, can you do 20? Can you do 10? Can you do 5 minutes? If you can only do 5 minutes, start with those 5 minutes. That can be 5 minutes of walking, 5 minutes of stretching, 5 minutes of biking, strength training, doesn't matter. But when your schedule gets busy, I would so much rather have you add 5 minutes of movement in every single day than just one workout a week. Reason being is over time, if we only have that one workout a week, in between that workout, we forget how great we felt. We forget how good our body and our mind felt, what it gave us, all of the benefits. We lose that over 6 days until it's time to do that workout again. Whereas if you add 5 minutes in every day, you're building a habit, you're building consistency, you're really leaning into showing up whether you want to or not. And you consistently get that endorphin, that sense of endorphins, that mood booster, that energy booster, all of those things. So it's really important that when life gets busy, instead of just letting those workouts fall off completely or saying, I'm only going to do one a week, still do that one a week. But on the days you're not doing that, implement 5 minutes of fitness. And I'm going to tell you some ways. And if you drop fitness below, I'm going to give you 20, 15-minute or less fitness options. And if 15 minutes is too long, choose a 5 minute, choose a 10 minute. There's 20 different workouts that you can do inside this ebook. So, some of the things that we can do is an AMRAP. AMRAP stands for as many rounds as possible. So, this is honestly one of my favorite. I choose 3 to 5 movements and I choose how many reps I'm going to do. And then from there, I set my timer for 5, 10, or 15 minutes, depending on what I have available that day and what my bandwidth is. And I move through those movements and those reps as many times as I can before that timer goes off. Super simple. It's probably my favorite to go to as well as my clients because you can just work through it at your own pace. You can take breaks as you need to, so on and so forth. The next one is an EMON. So that stands for as many rounds as possible. So this one's a little bit more challenging to explain and it's easier kind of like when you see it. So there are a few EMONs in that ebook, but what it is you set your timer 5, 10, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is kind of long for an EMON. 5 to 10 seems to be a little bit more manageable. So, what you do is you have 2 to 3 exercises and you choose your reps. So, for instance, I have 10 glute bridges, 15 squats. Those are my 2 exercises. So, I set my timer at the top of the minute. I have to do 15 glute bridges, 15 squats. As soon as I complete those, if I have 30 seconds left of that first minute, that is my rest period. So I get to rest. When that second minute hits, I go back and I do 15 glute bridges, 15 squats. Let's say the second round, I only have 20 seconds. That's my rest. So you'll notice that over time, as you get more fatigued, your rest time is going to shorten. If you do round one and you have 10 seconds or less in a rest period left of that minute, you have too many exercises or too many reps in it. So stick to 2 to 3 movements and keep your reps from 5 to 15. Depending on the movement, do you have to transition up and down off the ground? Things like that. Your goal is to have about 20 seconds of rest in each. That's going to force you to move quicker. It's also going to have a little bit of incentive of like, if I get these done, I get to have that rest period. The one thing that is different from this than an AMRAP is those rest periods are there. So you don't get to choose when you rest, you just follow through. If you do need to skip a minute because you got yourself a little too tight and you only had 5 seconds to rest before the next one, skip that next minute. And then when the next top of the minute hits, go back to those movements. So you can play around with it and make it yours. But those are 2 different forms that are really fun. AMRAPs are my favorite because I have a little bit more control. I will make the goal of I'm going to do 3 rounds and then I'll take a rest. Okay. Can I do 2 rounds and then take a rest before the timer is off? Things like that. The thing to remember about all this, though, is your form does matter and your body mechanics matter. So just because we're limited on time does not mean we speed through, that we lose form, that we are not paying attention to our body. No, it just means that in a short amount of time, you're going to work as hard as you can and be as intentional as you can in those 5 minutes. So, for instance, if I set a timer for 5 minutes to do an AMRAP and I just kind of like lay on the ground and half ass it, I'm not going to get out of it that 5 minutes. I'm going to get a half assed workout. I'm not going to feel great. I'm not going to get the benefits. So, when we can set aside a smaller, structured amount of time, we're more likely to show up, be more successful, and get those benefits. The third type of circuit that you could do is a Tabata. So, Tabata is short term demanding exercises alternated with short periods, typically over a 4 minute period. So, short rest periods. So, Tabata is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. And for instance, you will do 20 seconds of squats, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds of glute bridge, 10 seconds rest. Repeat that circuit until 4 minutes is done. After that, so interval timer is really great. I'll drop a video in the comments below. I've got it on YouTube how to set up the interval timer that I use. It's completely free. You can get it on Apple or Android. But having access to that, even having access to these EMONs and AMRAPs in there are really nice because you can just plug and play. Um, but Tabatas are a way to get that heart rate up more cardio intensive while doing strength training. You can use Tabata when you run or when you're out doing like a couch to 5K. These are all structured in my mind as I'm sharing for you to do strength training in a short amount of time. That being said, fitness in 5 minutes can look like walking, pacing, high knees, stretching, mobility work. You've got a resistance band, do some some chest stretches and back strengthening exercises right at your desk. 5 minutes intentionally. Turn your back towards your screen so you don't get distracted. Set that timer for 5 minutes and move your body. It can also just look like walking outside, getting grounded, getting some movement in, things like that. It doesn't have to look a certain way. But if we want to be consistent, if we want to continue to build this habit of moving our body, we need to be doing it on a daily basis. I have a client where when we started off and we did it for a couple years now, is she would have her workouts, but then she'd also have 10 minutes of intentional movement every single day. And that could mean walking the trash can out her half-mile driveway and bringing it back in. It could mean going out and walking with the horses. It could mean doing something with the cheer team. It could be a lot of different things. I didn't put parameters on it, but for 10 minutes, her focus was intentionally moving her body. So that's what I want you to think about. Fitness in 5 minutes is just so easy and simple that we can literally all fit it in somewhere. Even if you're in the car all day, at some point you have to get out of the car and go to the bathroom. When you're at that rest stop, set your timer for 5 minutes, do some stretching. Your body will thank you. So now that we talked about how you can do fitness in 5, what it looks like, gave you some ideas. Remember, you can drop fitness below to get access to the 20 workouts that I've created for you that I gave you reps, I gave you the movements. All you got to do is set the timer. So, importance of adding bursts of movement to your day. So, I just told you what you need to be doing, but let's talk about the importance. It's going to boost your mood and reduce your stress. If you are somebody who sits in front of a computer all day long, I know we feel this. Our eyes are stressed, the back of our head is stressed, our shoulders, our neck, everything. It's going to improve our cognitive function. It's going to counteract the effects of prolonged sitting. So I am sitting today. Typically I stand, but I've been moving up and down that even just 5 minutes stepping away throughout my workday is going to help reset my body. You're going to increase your productivity and your focus. And I've said this on a few different trainings and a few different podcast episodes of the Empower Her Wellness podcast that getting up and getting away from your work, especially when we're in the focus of, I'm just going to do this one last thing. Okay, there's this one last thing, but that one last thing just seems to take forever. It doesn't just take the 5 minutes it's supposed to. It's taking 15, 20, 30 minutes. It's because our focus isn't there. It's probably because you've been looking at the screen, you're exhausted, that you need to take a break away, look outside, get some fresh air, walk around, do something different for 5 minutes, and then come back to it. And you are most likely going to accomplish that task so much quicker. You're also going to have better blood pressure and blood sugar control throughout the day, increased metabolism and calorie burning, and better sleep. So, somebody in the step challenge, she had shared in a message with me that since increasing her steps, she has been sleeping so much better and her anxiety has been under control. Moving more is so beneficial, whether it's inside or outside, that if you struggle with either of these, start with just 5 minutes a day. I know how daunting it can be to say, I got to get 30-minute workout in. Yeah, we all have like an optimal or like our goal, but then we also have a bare minimum. And then we have that in between where we typically sit. So, thinking about that, what is like your optimal, like if you could crush it every single day, what does it look like? What is that bare minimum? Is that bare minimum just that fitness in 5 minutes? And then in the middle, is it a combo of both? Is it a combo of some workouts, some walks, some fitness in 5 minutes? What does that look like for you and your lifestyle? It's not going to look the same for you as it looks for me. It's going to look different. And then ways to add it into your day. Because I know it can get hard when you're like stuck in the workplace and you're like, I'm doing all the things. And all of a sudden you get to the end of the day and you're like, I haven't moved, I haven't drank water, I haven't gone to the bathroom. Have a plan going into your day. Plan tomorrow today. So, tonight, when the day is over, I look at my calendar for tomorrow and I will schedule in movement times. If I know I have a ton of meetings, I will schedule in 5-minute moving time. Maybe that's me switching over laundry midday, but I'm still moving away from my computer. Keep your equipment accessible. If you're wanting to do these in the office, in your living room, in a spot where you may not keep your workout equipment, grab a set of dumbbells, grab a resistance band, or if you're doing body weight, you don't need any of it. But if you are using equipment, keep your equipment out, accessible, and in front of you. So it's always at the forefront of your mind rather than in the back of your brain of like, oh, yeah, I should do that. But now I have to do this. Take all of the resistance out of it. If you have meetings, so many of us are still doing meetings virtually. Ask them if they can do a Zoom meeting audio or like take your phone and just do no video. Like, can you do your meetings on the go? Can you meet up with people? If you're in the office, can you go for a walk for your meeting instead of being at the conference table, being at the desk? I know it's not possible all the time, but ask when you can. And then that final one that I find helpful when I'm kind of getting into the routine of it is setting timers on my phone, kind of knowing when the lull in my day is, when I kind of start to feel tired. I'll set a timer. When that timer goes off, I'll get up, I'll do my thing. And then if I feel like I need another one, I'll set another timer for an hour, 2 hours from now. So it's not rocket science. It's not anything new, but it's just these little reminders of like a timer cues us to get up and do something different. So knowing that we've just barely touched on the tip of the iceberg here with fitness in 5 minutes. Like I said, in a few weeks, we're going to be having a podcast episode come out on the Empower Her Wellness podcast. Please check it out for a deeper dive into this as we talk about how you can implement this a little bit more successfully with accountability and such. In the meantime, if you want access to my 20 workouts, drop fitness in the comments below and I'll send you the link. And then we've got our fall strength training boot camp that is starting on August 27th. So if you have been wanting to try our strength training boot camp and summer just didn't work out for your schedule or for you, or you were a little intimidated, whatever that is, it's for all levels, all ladies. All you got to do is bring a mat, a set of weights, and a set of resistance bands. I've got the TRX. And we have had so much fun all summer, and I'm excited to fall session to start. So if you want those details, there will be a link below so you can check out all the strength training bootcamp details. So until next time, have a great weekend.